Oh my goodness. How's everybody doing? Back for another exciting beta read. Oh my goodness. This is going to be great. So, yeah, we did 2 the other day. Now we're on our 3rd one for the brand new year. Oh my goodness. We used to do these all the time, but then after the Great Purge, where we deleted like 30 of these, we're back in action. So let's just get right into it. Real quick, some plugs. Let's thank Mariah for letting us get permission to beta read The Lost Princess. Ooh, where is she? Like, subscribe, and here are some books of mine that I'm just going to show you guys really quickly. We got The Yamikage, New Dawn. Oh my goodness, wonderful. The Modern Kama Sutra, which is like a really weird book I wrote. It's kind of very odd. Bright Dreadful Sun, very cool. Some medical horror for you, really cool, based off my personal experiences. Not Every Star in the Night. Whoa, very horrible. Horror-inducing, and then of course we got our first book, the Yamikage and New Dawn. Amazing. But we're not here to talk about my books. They will be in the description though. We're here to talk about your books. Oh my goodness. So a little bit about me. 5-star beta reader, 5-star ghostwriter, 6-time published author, and yeah, I love doing these video beta reads. On Fiverr, they could take hours and hours and hours. So if you haven't seen this before, this is kind of like a compartmentalized, compressed version of what those Fiverr gigs would be. So it's a speed beta read, almost as if I'm like opening it up for the first time, you know, checking the book out and just kind of giving critiques as I go, which is usually very exciting. I'm very excited to do this. I don't read ahead, so let's just jump right into this. I'm going to try to keep this one under 30 minutes. They usually end up being like 40 minutes, which is crazy. It just goes to show about how this can go. Lost Princess P, you know, I'm not going to fault you on for editing right now. But yeah, obviously fix the title. The Lost Princess. Maybe develop some nice stylizing. Maybe get your own nice font there. Also separate page separation. All right, here we go. Chapter 1. I'm assuming this is going to be like some sort of fantasy, but we'll see. We don't want to assume. Okay, we got chapter 1. Usually a lot of fantasy authors nowadays have this weird kind of like habit of doing prologues, which is really fun. Make sure if you're doing the prologues that it's actually setting a precedent for the novel at large. I like how this author is going right into chapter 1, which is very cool. Although it looks like this would be good prologue material. First line, first page, first paragraph, first everything, very important. So we take this piece by piece. So let's check out this first line. Oftentimes by this first page, you can kind of tell a lot, you know. So here we go. Long ago, a war started between the Galaxy Kingdom and the Underworld Kingdom. Okay, very good. It's informative. It's straight to the point, but double check for ambiguity. That could be very wide and encompassing. So make sure that it's not confusing the reader right off the bat. I think the author has a really good idea in keeping things simple. I would rather see simplicity done well than complication done bad. Just watch out for specifics that can be a little Galaxy Kingdom, Underworld Kingdom. It's just kind of like a wide net, I guess I would say. Aim for those descriptions, because when you're writing fantasy, you want to inspire wonder. So let's go on. The war went on for years, and there was no end in sight for it. Watch out for the tells. See, like, that's already a lot you can do. The Underworld Kingdom overtook the Galaxy Kingdom, forced them out of their land. They have been fighting for it. See, this is something that would be in a prologue. This is something that sets up the precedent of events. A lot of times people use the prologue the wrong way, where they'll use the prologue to kind of like start moving action, move this thing. That's not what prologues are for. We're setting the precedent in the novel at large. This novel, I would actually recommend one to put this information here. And then really elaborate it too, because what I'm seeing in this first cheeseburger paragraph right here, really wonderful, this narrative, that right there in itself is a lot of information that can be presented well. And right here, it's just kind of like obvious over there, but it seems like the elements are in place. Like, I do like the open like this. I'm a big fan, especially in sci-fi and fantasy, when they open kind of like very specific, but also like very simple, but also let's get some detail in there. They've been fighting for many years. Like, don't rush it. When the Galaxy Kingdom overtook the land of a group of people, because we want a world build, so we don't want this like just gigantic ambiguous. We want to like take us there, so be careful for that. And a faraway land. Okay, so we're going to have real world elements, so double check that. So you want to make the foreign feel familiar. Let's double check. So if we're going to have Earth, you know, and try to find those elements that could combine them well as contrast them. The remaining adults, so they're taking the children here, looking. No, I'm already looking for a main character. I'm looking for inciting incident and plot type. Those are the 3 things I'm going to be looking for right off the bat. So let's see. They were known as elders. They were protecting So when you have these tells, not shows, it's almost kind of like being poked. Like this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. You want to be descriptive. You want to open up and really bring out that detail. So I feel like the author already has, like, you could tell a lot by the first page. Sometimes I only look at the first page. And you can tell a lot just by that. Let's get some detail, let's get some beautiful, informative detail, emotion, sensory detail. Bring it all in. Get some nice setting in here. Don't get so scatterbrained. But I do enjoy the simplicity in the presentation as well. So let's double check. When they first moved to the land, they've been formed a young child. Like, this is kind of really blanket. It's good. It's like kind of like the skeleton is there. It's like the skeleton is there, needs some bone. Or I guess the bone is there, needs some meat, needs some detail. So they did not know what was going to happen, but they hoped it would be soon. They worked the hardest thing to show their knowns and powers. Interesting. Yeah, like it's a lot thrown out at once. Take it slow. Okay, take it slow. Really world building. When you're writing fantasy novels, sci-fi novels, world building is everything. So it's like the pieces are there. Like now, it's like the puzzle is there, but draw the picture on there. It had been many years since the Galaxy Kingdom. Like, notice how this is setting a precedent for the novel. Okay, double check. I'm only reading the first chapter today, which is pretty interesting. So I'm looking for the main character. I want to see that main character I usually want to see them on the first page. Definitely. So let's double check. And I want elevation. Elevation. So this is short of an info dump. Careful. Careful. Abria, wake up, you lazy bones. You're going to be late for your test. First dialogue, very similar to first sentence, first page, first paragraph. Very important. So I love it when kind of like dialogue is almost like encompassing of a theme at large, kind of really bringing up the theme at large. So Abria, wake up, your lazy bones. Abria came into the room yelling. Okay. Let's see. Said is dead, but at the same time, don't neglect just simply using says. Very important. Look for present tense. So we're going in just right off the bat. So it's kind of like this weird transition between this long narrative into this. This is why a prologue usually would help in these situations, because it's like big thing and then go. It's like what? It's like, here's the rules, go. Careful, take it slow. 5 more minutes, she said, rolling over. No. Watch your grammar. I'm already seeing grammar mistakes. Send this off to an editor. I'm sure this is in the first draft stages, so we're not going to harp on that too much. You're already late and you missed your test. Come on, he states. He pulls the blanket off her. See, when just open up the setting, get some description detail in there. I could already tell. Usually by that first page, I could already tell a lot about author's strengths and weaknesses. So we could double check. She makes a desperate grab for it because it was cold. And yeah, telling is a big one. You want to show, not tell. So there's a lot of telling. It's all over the place. She decided it was best to get up because she knew the best thing was to get back up. What are dumping on her? Fine, I'm up right now. Interesting. Okay. Move the plot forward with dialogue. I think the author's doing that kind of well. Let's see. Something has happened. She's pushing something, so that's good. I want to elevate. Like, when I see these characters, I want them elevated. I want them elevated fast. I want to be able to look down the street and be able to recognize them. That's the level of detail we want to get in there. So if Abria is the main character, we want that beautiful elevated character profile. We want it fast. We want to fall in love at first sight. So right now it's what a silhouette character is. Okay, black t-shirt, black leggings. We want unique characteristics. I'm glad that the clothes are there. I'm glad that there's a level of appearance there. No, look for unique characteristics, and I usually vie for that in physical traits. Why physical traits as opposed to clothing? Well, because people change clothes. That's the thing. A lot of times when authors do get that unique characteristic in there, it's awesome. But usually, sometimes when it takes the form of clothing, sometimes people neglect the fact that people change after a long time of events. So yeah, double check that. So yeah, I would get a unique characteristic in the form of something physical, but we'll see. Sometimes a lot of people do like a theme to the character, which is pretty cool. That comes out in the clothing. Brother Hugo. I like how the author's keeping this cast like a little limited. Okay, I would rather see, because sometimes there's so many characters at once. I like how it's staying there. All right, take the time, elevate. Mom and dad are now in the mix, so that's 4. Let's double check. Looking down every day. They are dead, but it doesn't seem they're still mentioned. We are still having a hard time, though. I think she doesn't like to see that hugging. Speed things up. Let's see. After enter the testing field. Interesting. What is the testing field? Very cool, very cool. So is this a foreign concept? Make the foreign feel familiar? Double check. I'm looking for plot type, inciting incident. I want to see that main character elevated. I'm not getting that. We're looking for the... So is the test at large the inciting incident? I don't think so. But it is moving action. So let's see. Introduction. We know the elements of an introduction. Introduction is to introduce. So don't speed past that. Make sure you hit all the check marks before going forward. Because right now I'm following a silhouette character, which is kind of just like... Ooh, silhouette. Let's see. Weighted test. Deep breath. A lot of plain. This reminds me of the Hunger Games a little bit, where the author kind of writes really plain, but the presentation is different than that book. A little bit different. Also, that book is in first-person narrative. Pretty cool. And present tense, which is awesome. So, like, notice here, a voice boomed. In Hunger Games, it would be a voice was booming. So, yeah, authors, especially fantasy authors that are going to have this action in the novel, right in present tense. Really bring that up. Said portals, start over. Right there. Freeze. Magic system. Magic system presented. Double check that. Elevate your magic system. How can yours be different than the others? Same with just fantasy in general. Creatures. Like, these are things you got to stop, collaborate, and listen. Stop, focus. Okay, now we got portals. How is that going to look? Like, don't assume the author knows. Don't assume the reader knows. That's a big one, too. Like, sometimes people put... elves, just like elves are just like something that the author assumes people are going to know. Don't assume. Describe it, elevate it, get your system in there, develop it. How can you make yours different? Creatures, like I would stop there. I like that the magic system is presented. Let's see. I like how it's presented early too. I do like that. Very good. So it looks like this woman or Abria has this echelon of powers. I really want this magic system described. I want the testing field, the setting, this primary setting, elevated. The first setting was technically your house. I didn't get a setting description. Similar to the dialogue, you want that first setting to be nice. So if you're gonna open on an ambiguous setting, maybe choose a different setting. Maybe you could start in the testing fields. That might be a better cold open. Let's see. Abria, hang on. Help is on the way. Someone call it. Vision blacked out. What is happening? Don't check. I'm just double checking. Yeah, because it's just a lot. Take it slow. The next time Abria woke up. I do like the presentation, though. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, that the presentation is nice and symmetrical. Love that. The mind despises asymmetry. So when you see like this manuscript and presentation looks very professional. I'd be happy to get this. Just because it's easy to read. We're not here to critique on their creative freedom. We're here to notice the literary elements. So the next time Abria woke up, she didn't know what she was. Yeah, watch out for the telling. A lot of telling. That's probably going to... In the rewrites, that's something I would do. That's going to be a major task, too, is if you're going to make the leap of faith and write in present tense to elevate the novel at large, sometimes it's really worth it. So double check. She looked around the room, found her brother asleep. Still following silhouette characters. Introduction. Introduce. Elevate character profile. Hey, how you feeling? Are you hurting on the way? So, like, there's a lot that should be elaborate. There's a lot that's being skipped over. Like, the magic system, that's one of the things that this demographic wants to learn about is the magic system. They want to learn about the world building. So, be careful. Double check. It looks like we're having some presented in some dialogue now. Defend yourself, too much of your energy. We see a lot of that, too. Energy, magic, ki, or some sort of, like, mana, or, like, that's very big in fantasy. So that's good because then that could introduce drawbacks. So what I do like about the magic system, I got a feeling this magic system is going to be pretty fun too, especially with some elevation, is because we're already being presented with drawbacks. Very cool. We love drawbacks. Definitely a good part of the magic system. If all the characters are invincible, I don't know. Yeah, Hugo told me that I was attacked. How did that happen? I thought, yeah, a little too much emotion. Slow down, get that detail, and that's the only thing that this is. It's like a big element that this thing is lacking. Is like it's like there's no meat on the bone. There's the bone's there, but there's no meat. It's like the pieces are in place, but the elevated detail is missing. It's like an outline. It's a first draft, but it looks like it's presented as if it's like in the second draft stages. So double check. This needs a developmental edit. Like already I would write a lot. Anxious here. Monsters attack. School. Sorry we were attacked. This is actually why I'm here. I'll be right back. Abria left the room. I'm looking for an inciting incident plot at large. I'm looking for plot type. I'm not seeing indications of either. Double check. It's you don't have to throw it in there, but kind of pepper it in. Get some seasoning. Get some clues of the plot type. Uh, and these are things you want to see. This is why I only asked for the first chapter, because these are things you want to see lickety split. Pretty much. We need to talk. The elder said, okay, if elder is going to play the sage archetype or something like that, you want to elevate the main character. Elevate these characters. I don't want to follow silhouette characters around, especially in fantasy fiction. So when you're taking the test, underworld monsters. So underworld monsters, what do they look like? Also silhouette creatures. That's a big part of the world building. So if you're going to do your own creatures, what are they? How do they look? New abilities. I love how the author's really taking time with the magic system, though. What do you mean? How have I done it? So we are getting the dialogue strips now, but it looks symmetrical. It doesn't look out of control. These are really good when maybe two characters are talking, one or two characters. When you have like 5 characters talking in this, there you go. Talking this kind of fast back and forth dialogue, it can get really confusing. But I like the presentation of this dialogue. It's nice, neat, symmetrical. It's not confusing. I like that. So when I feel like the author, when she's presenting this dialogue in this format as opposed to the quick cuts, it's a lot better. It's moving the dialogue plot forward. Very good. Believe the Galaxy Princess. So the hero's journey, clearly we're ready. Okay, that's a hero's journey, clearly a strong indication. Okay, so now you discovered The Hero with 1,000 Faces is a great book to learn the hero's journey like the back of your hand. So now she's learning this brand new life-changing information off the bat. It's introduction. Now how's the inciting incident gonna elevate that? I'm just a regular girl. I'm not anyone special. This is crystal clear hero's journey. We're gonna be looking. Still, there's elements that still like. Is this gonna be a quest plot? That might be what this is. It almost looks exactly like that. Higher class, learn more. I actually want to stay in my classes. So we got some motivation here. Okay, so her archetype is bleeding through a little bit. So she could be the Everman. Likely not. She could be the magician. Maybe. Yeah, she has. She could also be the caregiver archetype. We'll see. So I like I still have much to learn with my powers. That indicates that she has kind of like an inkling of wanting to master her stuff, which is good. A lot of heroes have that, some do not. She stated, good, nice and I'm reading down here. I gotta watch the screen. Oh, by the way, my screen used to be there. Now it's there. So double check. You're right about the 5 years. I'm just gonna read from this stupid laptop screen. All right. Tomorrow I want you back in your classes. There's a lot. Don't skip over a lot of this stuff. Focus, take it slow. This is already like you can have several chapters of this already, technically. Especially if you're writing that Game of Thrones style, where those quick cut chapters, tick tock, because these things need allotted time. So like write everything down. Write your checklist. Okay, the magic system is presented. How can I elevate it? The creatures are there. Take it slow. Focus that. It's a weird balance between wanting to get that action front and forward, and also really making sure the reader is kind of getting these clues in there. For like, let's say the Underworld King and then the Galaxy Princess. These are big things. These are gigantic, huge things that they should be taken slow. 18 minutes. I'm gonna kind of wrap things up here as soon as I think. I can't see when the chapter's over. 1 second. Wish my mom and dad strong motivations. Okay, I like that. Let's see. Strong backstory, rather. Let's see. So sorry, it's my fault. He said, emotion. Nice. Emotions there. Good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff around here. Every day looking more at mom. Hugo said, Bria. I wonder what's up with the foreign names. Of course, they're big in fantasy fiction, sci-fi fiction. Usually, sometimes there's a rhyme and reason to it. Sometimes it's just like, oh, that kind of sounds cool. You just gotta, I suppose, decide, let's see. Slowly grab like this. I want to see this I want to fall in love with the main character. I can't do that without unique characteristics. It's just impossible. But I love how the personality is shining through. Yeah, this novel overall needs some detail, some more detail. Descriptive, beautiful, elevated detail. I'll read some Game of Thrones. Like I said, George R.R. Notice how he's world building like every other sentence. He's beautifully world building. So, although he's presenting this action, he's doing it in a way that's elevated. So, Medwing over school. Like there, bum, Medwing. What is that? Their focus, get that in there. How does their school look? Like, this is like, I feel like this is like 50 novels. Or not, it's like, how can I say this? It's like a lot of content from different novels being thrown at me all at once. So that's something you got to double check for in the next set of drafts. I would not accept this one. I would send it back, although it's close in certain aspects. So with that being said, double check this, all of this. It's not, I love the presentation. Caught off guard, buff on the ground laughing hard, chest beginning to hurt. Nice nonverbals there. So there are a lot of elements that are present that are really good. And you survive without me. Introduce you to Cosmo, Barrow. Make sure there's not too many character introductions at once either. Because especially when they're all silhouette characters, this is a big thing. You bring all the characters, a big party, but they're all silhouettes. Double check. So I've already lost, and that's big with foreign names too. That's another big. When you have no unique characteristics and there's all these foreign names running around, it's really hard to keep track. Very, very hard. So first I'll come on. Sorry, she get excited. Cosmo Kramer. Nice to meet you. The whole time she was stop talking to him, laughing. Oh, really? I'm looking for the inciting incident. I don't need this fluff. She wrapped everything. Gets excited. He gets super excited with the news. Galaxy Princess. So. I guess you could consider her finding out the Galaxy Prince that she's a Galaxy Princess is a level of inciting incident, but it's not kicking off the plot at large. It's not pushing her off the edge to say. It's an element of what could be part of the inciting incident, but it's not the pure inciting incident. Keyword incident. Let's double check, but it is an element of it because there's something a little bit longer in than that's it. Coming over. Let me double check where I am here. Okay, looks like because I don't want this to be this gigantic one chapter. All right, here we go. Nice. Okay. Not so far off. A few more pages. Yeah. So this is a lot of highly skippable material. So double check that. Tap on the shoulder. Nonverbals. Like it's like a lot of elements are there, but it's kind of don't make it drab. Double check. Maybe even read like Alice in Wonderland, how she look at this sense right here, Miss Bess away from the group, where they take those little small sandwich paragraphs and she's already elevating world building rapidly. You got to have those world building elements there, and they've got to be elevated, or else this feels like what could be a cookie cutter novel. I would love to see more of the plot at large. Okay, clues of it at least, and then we have her in school and in class and. It's kind of like this little bit of a Harry Potter type of thing going on. You see a lot. Elevate it. How can you make yours different? I want to see these settings. I want to be immersed in these settings. And when they're absent, it's just kind of like a cookie cutter novel, where it's like this can fit in a different. It's not next level. So let's double check. Tonight, everybody said rolling your eyes. I've received a lot of manuscripts that are just like this. So I already kind of. I'm already kind of just comparing them to the other amateur fantasy novels I've received. Definitely, man, I love the neatness though. That's the thing. It's like the double-edged sword. It's like it's so neat, so well presented. It's like it's almost like a really nice restaurant dish, but then you bite into it and it's a little bit raw. It's got that feeling. It's like where it's a beautiful presentation, and it looks good, but then like you cut into it and it's a little bit undercooked. So that's exactly how I would describe it. So double check. I was thinking about everything that happened when Dad. And yeah, feel free to fast forward the video if you want. I might end up sounding funny, but yeah, go ahead. Feel free to fast forward. Right here, I'm just kind of same things I would normally comment on. This is a lot of fluff as well. Left the cafeteria. Like, see, when you speed past settings, there's already too many settings in one chapter. There's a lot of things going on. I'm looking for elevated material. I like the dialogue. Come on, gosh, you two are so slow. Long lines. Well, I mean, they're using dialogue to describe character there. That's nice. Maybe a more unique characteristic. That's nice. The short little lives. It's the lack of entertainment factor. Let's see. Okay, need to bite our heads off. I'm looking for big material. Like, this is a little bit scatterbrained. Yeah, it was me. I'm trying to find that golden gem. That's past the presentation. I feel like the presentation is that golden gem I love. But at the same time, I want to find something else. Like something else I could really just say that's genius. I'm looking for that. I really am. Bria said, Beryl looked shocked at what she was told. Why are they heading in? You were attacking the rest of school. Well, because there's a prophecy one day that states the Galaxy Princess is going to return. Nice. Okay. So that's world building right there. Take it slow. Man, I don't know, because it's like I said, it's just such a wide net. This concept is it's a really wide net, so you want to kind of zone in here. So if you're casting a wide net, you want to catch big fish. That's why you cast a wide net. You want to cast a wide net to catch big fish, and you don't want to cast a white net and then catch like water, tiny fish or whatever. I don't know. You just got to double check. She was attacked during the test. That's a lot of rushing. Hugo said, let's see. Okay, no, that's not bugging you. This, yeah, curtailed to the entertainment factor as well. Like, I'm getting sluggish here. You should get really excited at these beta reads. Crying, leaning over, emotion. Like I said, there's a lot of good things here that they just need elevation. It's like they're present, they need to be elevated. Some things. Let's see. I'm a princess. I think like that's a little bit too rush. I would like introduction is for introduction. Know the places of a novel, know like the plot points and what their purposes are. So there's a lot of introductory elements, but I don't think it's nailed yet. And that's it. Oh my goodness. Let me try to scooch this up a little bit. Scooch. So that's as far as it'll take me. All right. There, she called after Barrow and Avery. Same with the foreign names. Double check those foreign names. Since their mom is dead. I love that strong mom and dad died. That tension. I love that. That's good. You feel free to add that tension in there. She was thinking about it. She knew today everything was going to be so different. Okay, pretty okay. First chapter, pretty good. What can I say? In the conclusion, pretty nice. There's a lot of elements that are in place. It's like the skeleton is there. Now it needs meat on the bones. Give that rich detail. That's what we want. We want to be inspired by wonder. We want this beautiful world. So what we have here is kind of like a cookie cutter plot. I mean, it's okay. Maybe the author is a passion writer. That's totally cool. If you want to take it to the next level, get that detail in there. Really nail these parts. I'm looking for it. Don't speed past things that are important. Like, even though they're present, make sure that they're still elevated. Like that first setting, all these settings, the settings are sped past, but they're presented, but they're sped past. So go ahead, elevate that main character. If a main character is everything, elevate the main character. Unique characteristics. I want to be able to visualize her. I want to be able to see her. Same with all the other elements of the band. Almost at 30 minutes. Like the way I describe it, if you see them on the street, you should be able to recognize them. Let's say if I was walking down the street and I saw Bria, I wouldn't even notice it. I wouldn't even know who that was. So double check. There's a lot of things that could be open. This needs another set of drafts, in my opinion, a developmental edit, but then you would need to write upon those developmental edits. I've received many manuscripts like that, so I can tell you definitely that these are certain things you should elaborate on, but there are so many good things that are in place, because it's like all the chess pieces are in place. It's all the pieces are in place. You just want to, know how to make the moves. What else? The presentation is awesome. I love the presentation. Very neat, very concise. If you're going to start adding this detail, which I would definitely recommend, keep it under control, too, because that could pivot in a different way. The problem could pivot in a different way. Keep that under control. And as you add, don't let this presentation wane. It's a nice presentation. I'd be happy to receive it like this. And why do I say that? It's because a lot of people have scatterbrained presentations. Like, even with these fantasy novels, sometimes they could be completely, really asymmetrical. I like how the author almost has like this college level approach. This is like very neat approach. I love neatness. I'm very a big fan of that. Like I said, I think the number one sum up here would be like if you go to a restaurant and they give you a nice dish, it's like wonderful. It's like it looks good. It looks good. It looks like we've seen this dish, and then you like maybe it's a nice cheeseburger, and then you cut into it, and then you open it up, and it's raw, it's undercooked, still needs work. So that's definitely where I would go here, especially that main character. Anyways. Good job with the novel. Keep on writing. Keep on practicing. And ladies and gentlemen, like, subscribe. Keep it real. And yeah, let me know when this is done. Very important. I like it. It's like it's close to being awesome. Right now, it's like good. It's good. Like it'll work. It'll stand. But know where you're aiming for. All right. Have a good one. Peace.